Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu, and I'm just here to talk about poll results for the most recent shows poll on Wednesday, and also some other random things that I don't want to put right in the beginning of the video that I'm about to record because I'm about to go and record the video of the first episode of the thing that won. But I don't want to do all this talking about that in that video, so I want to separate like poll results video. I know there are at least like 4 or 5 people who are really interested in polls and data and statistics and stuff, and maybe there are more. So I thought I would make this quick video to talk about them results. So first off, a couple weeks ago, put up a poll with recent shows on it. This past season was pretty stacked with stuff that seemed interesting to me. As before, I've been staying completely away from all spoilers and information about these shows. For most of them, I don't know what studio they're coming out of. I don't know how long they run. I don't know who's directing them. I don't know anything. And I'm trying to keep it that way because I want to go in as bland as possible, and then we can find out that information later once it's been colored by watching the actual show. But I put up the poll and off it went, and the Discord went wild with people yelling like, vote for this, no, vote for this, no, that sucks, no, vote for this, and trying to figure out ways to manipulate the new system that I've put into place. And so far, I don't see any evidence of significant manipulation in terms of like people creating multiple accounts and stuff or rigging the votes or whatever. I don't see any evidence of that at the moment. There might be, they might just be smarter than me and flying under the radar, but I don't see it. So that's pretty good and pretty cool, and confirms for me that the system that I'm using right now, which is this multiple choice ranked voting system, sort of using Google Forms, is working so far and working okay. And also, I'm still down for the way that I'm calculating these. I think it works. I'm open to changes and recommendations for how to calculate the actual results. If people think that the way that I'm calculating them skews results in certain ways, let me know. And if you've got ideas, or if you're a fucking math major or statistics major or something and you know what's up, hit me up. I'm totally open to that kind of criticism and like new information and stuff. Regardless, here are the charts. These are the charts of the voting. As before, this is a sort of a ranked choice for each show on the poll. You get five options, and you get to fill one of them in. Those options go from hell no, nah, meh, which is just neutral, hell, yeah, and like hell yeah. And each one has a mathematical significance that is really simple. The hells on either side are +2 and -2. The yeas and the nas are +1 and -1, and the meh in the middle is just +0, so that you can rank something and not influence the voting if you don't feel like you have input for that particular show. You know, most people don't watch every show that comes out every season, and so it's ridiculous to expect that everybody has an opinion about every single show and what they would like to see. That being said, these are the charts. This is what shows up. Stuff that leans more heavily to the right side of the chart is more positive. Stuff that leans more heavily to the left side of the chart is more negative. And most shows that people are like, meh, on end up with a sort of a bell curvy sort of thing, with meh in the middle being the highest, and then flip-flops on either side. So that's what we end up with. A whole bunch of shows on this poll, and I was wondering about a couple of things going into this, which is mostly why I want to make this video. The most interesting show on this poll to me, not in terms of the show itself, because I don't know, it might be, but the most interesting in terms of results is Jujutsu Kaisen, because it was the strong runner-up last season, and so it made its way into this poll again for this season. And I was wondering if it was going to maintain that runner-up status or even win, and instead it faded out a little bit into the background. It still performed really well, still had a lot of positive votes on its side, but the total that it managed to put up was not that high, and so Jujutsu Kaisen is actually knocked out of the second place running, and won't be appearing on the next recent shows poll. That doesn't mean that I'm totally giving up on Jujutsu Kaisen in the world and never going to watch it ever. It just means that it will have to wait for a more thematic poll. When I go out looking for shonen and stuff, it'll be a relatively recent, relatively popular shonen that will probably make its way onto that poll. but it's going to be out of this recent seasonal slot poll. So our totals, 86 comes in with a total of 58, which is not super good and not like ultra bad. We'll talk about ultra bad in a couple of shows. Jujutsu Kaisen comes in with a total of 183 with a pretty like moderate negative voting system thing, and a pretty solid number of high votes. But it just doesn't equal up to some of the other things on the poll. Nagatoro got absolutely walloped by my fans. They do not want me watching Nagatoro. I guess this show was not good. I know that Nagatoro, the manga, has a pretty large fan base of people who really like femdom, I guess. But it came in with a negative 177, which is really low. I think that is the lowest that we've had on one of these, and that's kind of crazy. And the next show on the poll is the winner of this poll with a whopping 407 in positive total, a relatively small, in fact, the second smallest on the list, negative total of 121, and a total of 286. Pretty much blowing most of the rest of the running out of the water. SSSS Dynazenon, which a couple of people are really freaking into, ended up with a slight negative score of minus 35. I might go check this out on my own because I really liked Gridman. I thought it was really fun, and I know that Dynazenon is a very different show, but I still liked it. Negative 35. Tokyo Revengers, solid negative 87, not doing well on this poll. To Your Eternity comes in as our runner-up this season with a total of 244. Pretty high positive votes, pretty low negative votes, 244 total. Vivi Fluoride Eyes Song also came in really close to the runner-up slot with a 221 total. Really almost very similar positive votes, a little bit lower, a little bit higher negative votes, and that all comes together to make a 221 total, which is just shy of the runner-up position. And then Zombieland Saga Revenge comes in almost perfectly neutral with a total of 11, which is not super high. It's pretty low. So that's basically all that I wanted to do here for the rundown. We're going to be watching Odd Taxi. I've got the first episode downloaded. I'm going to stop this video and start recording that video in just a minute. So if you want to watch Odd Taxi with me, hop on over to the Patreon, linked in the describble-de-doo. And you can, the first episode will be up sometime later today. But if you just want to stick with the YouTube, or that's not a thing, check it out next week. It'll be coming out. That first episode will be, I don't know. I have no idea. Again, I don't know what studio Odd Taxi is coming out of. I just don't know. I have no idea. I haven't gone and looked at the Mal page. I haven't gone and looked at anything. So should be an interesting little journey into something totally new that all y'all think that would be fun for me to watch and that you want to see me react to and talk about. So I'm down. I'm excited. That's what we'll be doing in just a minute, or what I'll be doing in just a minute. If you want to help influence polls in the future and actually get your vote out there, hop on the Patreon. It's $1 a month to just get poll access and also access to the Discord so that you can scream at people to vote for the shows that you want, which is a part of what the Discord is used for, and that's totally fine. I might make a channel on the Discord that's just like, here, go to war. go to war, people. There's been like a KyoAni war slot where people yell about which KyoAni show that I should watch next. But now that the KyoAni slot is done, and I don't know what I'm doing on Sundays now, I haven't figured that out yet. Now that the KyoAni slot is done, I don't know what that channel will be used for. So I might repurpose it into a talk about the polls and stuff slot or channel on the Discord. I don't know. Regardless, there are the poll results. Those of you math fiends out there, I hope that this scratches the itch for you. Editing me will have put all of the charts and also all of the actual like detailed data up, so you can stare at it and if you want to. But that's the whole shenanigans. I guess I will mention about Jujutsu Kaisen, because this is the thing that I was pretty curious about, and it's impossible to know exactly what's going on here and what the motivation for this is, and how the crowd acts and all that stuff. That's behaviorology and behavioral sociology and stuff that I don't know that much about. But my guess is Jujutsu Kaisen, right when it came out, was a fucking hype fest. People were into it. People were all about it. And a few months later, people aren't quite as super into it because it's a few months old. So I think that Jujutsu Kaisen as like a top build shonen is a pretty good example of recency bias and just the desire to see things that are new, and we see that fade out. Now, people still really obviously like the show. It's got a huge positive amount of votes, a pretty low amount of negative votes. People want to see it, but not as many people as want to see the more recent and potentially more interesting shows that were coming out this season. So I found that really interesting to see it sort of fade into the background as it fades into the background of people's minds a little bit. Again, this is just speculation. I don't know that that's precisely what's going on, but I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that that's something relevant. The time that it came out and how long it has been since it came out seems like a relevant factor to me. So I just wanted to put all this stuff in a video and give it to you, and here's your video, and now you know what's going to be coming up on YouTube next week and on Patreon today. Enjoy. I'll see ya. Have a good day. Stay hydrated. Eat well. Do some stretches. It's good for you. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'll see you around. Peace.